Hi everybody, it's Nick from Tucker's Doggy Delights, again here with Dawn and our good friend Thunder. What are we doing underneath the table, Thunder? It has to be this time of year when the big booms start happening and all the pop, pop, pop and the partying. So we're here to talk to you today about pet safety with the fireworks and the anxiety that goes on during this part of the year when there's a lot of celebrating going on, and it starts early and it goes on a little after all those wonderful fireworks going on.
And especially with a midweek holiday, a lot of the fireworks will be starting the weekend before and probably continuing to the weekend after, depending on when communities are having their events or your neighbors. So
Everybody.
everybody.
It just doesn't stop, does it?
Nope, it started by my house already.
We know, I mean, everybody's asking us, do you have this product? I need this to help me with my dog. They're getting a lot of fireworks going on. So let's talk about the pets.
Well, I want to talk about something besides the anxiety before we get too far into this.
That's a great idea. What do you
And
got?
so what I want to talk about is how many pets go missing on the 4th of July. More pets than at any other time of the year. So the first thing I want to talk about is not the big booms and the anxiety, but rather what you need to do to keep your pets safe. And so there's a lot going on. If you're having company, really consider kenneling your dog or even crating your cat for the day, because they're really good at sneaking out as people go in and out, and your guests may not be as aware of your pets as you are. It's a very easy time for them to slip out, and if there's a lot going on, they may be trying to get out there. And it's not just dogs or cats. Keep that inquisitive ferret or guinea pig or hedgehog or anything else contained, and your birds. I have clients who've had birds go missing because they're used to leaving the birds out in the house. Someone doesn't pay attention,
and the anxiety that just all gets heightened during the 4th of July, because I mean, people have family parties all the time,
right?
But the worst thing is the hidden anxiety, the stresses going on with the random pops and bangs.
Right, because you have all that noise going on as well, and we've got thunderstorms expected this week, and a lot of dogs are reactive to that.
Yes.
So if your pet has a collar with tags, make sure they have it on all the time, even if they're not outside. If you're taking them somewhere, consider a harness rather than a collar so they can't slip out of it. It's a really dangerous time of year for the animals in a lot of ways. And so that's one of the first things I want to talk about. But also, it's supposed to be hot.
Yes,
and I know
very
a
hot.
lot of you like to take your animals with you. We like to take our pets places. I know our dog goes a lot of places with us. But
we want to hang out with the family and have a party too.
Right, but we're expecting, at least here in Illinois, upper 90 degree, towering on 100. And yeah, you know, if they walk on the sidewalk or pavement, it's even hotter than that because that heat builds up. And you don't want to burn their feet. You don't want them to get dehydrated and stressed. And if they get dehydrated, they can go into shock from that. It can be really dangerous for the dog.
Right.
So, or cat or other pet, but typically we take our dogs with us more.
And when we're distracted with our families during the whole festivities,
you're
not going to notice
the stress.
Right. You just consider it panting like normal. But honestly, if they've been doing it for a long time and you haven't been paying attention to them, things get bad really fast.
And especially for the darker animals that tend to heat up quicker, or the heavier coats. And so please consider leaving your pet at home, somewhere safe. And you know, I call my dog kennel the house and ask my animals to go in their house. It's a safe place for them. They know no one's going to hurt them in there.
It's the perfect example right here. Thunder is in his den. Some dogs, a lot of dogs, recognize a cage or a room, a particular room, as their den, so it's a safe place.
And one of the safe places, if you're not using a crate for your animals, is the bathroom, because especially if we have thunderstorms connected to the holiday, the plumbing fixtures are grounded, so those animals that are sensitive to all that energy and the static and the pressure changes from the storm do better near grounded plumbing fixtures. So a bathroom is a small contained space. Typically, it's not carpeted. Sometimes they are, but typically not. So if your pet does have an accident because of stress,
It's easier to clean up.
Easier
Yeah.
to clean up.
That's for sure.
You know, it's a place where you can leave water and food if you want to do that.
Maybe
And-
put some ambient music or something on that's light and soothing.
Right, light
distract.
jazz, classical is very good, and especially if they're used to that in advance, it helps. You
Yep.
can get some excellent recordings specific for dogs and cats through a dog's ear,
Yeah.
and they're designed by a musician and veterinarian working together. They've done things for zoo animals and everything else, so they have a lot of experience with sound therapy, and it's really some of those recordings are really extremely effective, or that light jazz or classical music, very, very effective for soothing the animals and keeping them calm. If you're staying home, or even if you're going out in the 4th, but you're home on the weekends when a lot of the community events and things are going on, another good thing to do with your dog is to play with them during that. Do some active play
Yes.
to distract them. And I wish it worked on dogs, but my nephew trained his son to get excited about thunderstorms and noise, and that it was a fun thing. And I wish I could do that with dogs, but
That's not that easy.
it's not as easy. It worked with his son, but it's not as easy. But you can still play, especially if your dog or cat or anything else, ferret, like
Mhm.
active play, and you're home and you're not out. Play with them, and that's distracting. It's something else.
It's a really good point. And also, doing the walks early in the morning, depending on the weather, obviously, just trying to get out a little bit more than often than you normally would, to start wearing them out, having their exercise done for the day
Before
evening. Would be
because
great.
typically you're not going to see the fireworks start till late afternoon or evening, because of course they're going to show up better after dark.
Right. And consider, don't think of their normal routine patterns that are going to happen on the same weekend, because their time schedule is going to be thrown off by this extra stress. They may need to go out to the bathroom more than the normal times. I know some people, they work 8-hour days and leave the dog for an 8-hour period. You might want to consider checking in on them more often than.
Because an anxious animal often has to eliminate more often than a quiet, calm animal does.
Yeah.
And if it's hot and they're drinking a lot of water because they're stressed by the heat, they're still going to have to go out and get rid of that water. So be aware of that. Especially if you do restrain them because you're having a party and you're going to put them somewhere safe so that they can't escape as people go in and out. Do remember to have someone responsible and make sure that they get them out pretty frequently.
So another question I have is, with having family over, or family and friends, or just the dog being alone, how do you prepare the house? Do you close extra doors? You want to make sure there's more than one barrier, because a lot of these runaways happen when someone just randomly opened the door, just forgetting that there's an animal in the house, and that dog was looking for the quickest escape.
Yes.
Or animal, I should say, pet.
Well, it doesn't have to be a dog. Cats are
Right.
really good at getting out
Oh yeah,
between people's
without even
legs,
seeing them.
and sometimes you don't even notice.
Mhm.
And I know people, as I said, that had ferrets and birds and other things escape. So double barriers is a good idea if you have a pet gate.
Okay.
Have them and have them cordoned off so they can't get to a room with the door.
Mhm.
And it's well, it may not be so simple in some homes, but in many homes it's a simple thing. And so people are going in and out of the kitchen with food and drinks for your party. Make sure there's a barrier to keep that dog or cat out of the kitchen so they can't get near the door that's being opened all the time.
Right.
Or if it's a family room with a deck, try, restrain your animal in a different part of the house, or animals. And they may bark and they may whine and want to be part of the festivities, but
For their safety.
for safety reasons, it is a really rough time of year. And if they get out and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of wild fireworks, they're going to run.
Yes.
They can get hit by cars, they can run far enough that you have difficulty finding them. And again, more pets go missing this time of year than any other time. It's a really dangerous time for pets.
Yeah, so err on the side of caution and be safe. Even if you're hosting, I'd suggest putting up signs near the main entrance doors and all the garage doors, just saying, hey, be aware, I have pets, keep the door shut. Aaron, can you point the microphone? There we go. Thank you. All right, well, let's get up and talk about what we have on the table here.
Okay. Well, as you're getting up, I'm going to talk about what Thunder is wearing here.
Excellent.
And Thunder is wearing a Thunder shirt. And I love these because they are very calming for dogs. But if you're in a pinch and you don't have a Thunder shirt, we're going to post how to do a half wrap online. And what I used to do before Thunder shirts were on the market is I would take an ace bandage, a horse leg wrap. You don't want something sticky like vet wrap, but something you can tie. You can use a long women's scarf. And basically you wrap it around the chest of the dog, come up over the back of the neck, cross the ends, cross it under their belly, and come back up and tie it. And we're going to post the directions for doing that online. So if you need an anti-anxiety wrap and you don't have a Thunder shirt, it's a quick fix. Tie it snug. Don't cut off their circulation, but tie it snug. And it's a really effective way to calm them. And basically it's putting pressure in the same places the Thunder shirt does, here and here, so that you're impacting the heart. It's like swaddling a baby. And we'll get that posted online after this video is up, so that you have those directions.
We'll post it actually in the video comment feed.
Okay.
All right.
So that you have that. Okay.
So we talked about the Thunder shirt, but now we have some other tools for you. As I knock them all over. So let's walk through some healthy, natural options, as opposed to going in and getting, what is the common one that vets always prescribe? Xanax or
Xanax and Diazepam. Is it Diazepam? Oh gosh.
all of those ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those are needed, but we have a lot of healthy alternatives that I highly recommend starting to test out, especially this weekend prior to all the big noises and events.
And so you can start with something that's really safe to use but can be very effective, and those are flower essences. And you can use Rescue Remedy, although I like the blends like Tranquility and Anxiety better because they're specifically for calming, and Rescue Remedy is more of a kind of in the moment. If something happens and you're just trying to do something for a short-term stressful event, blends like Tranquility and Anxiety are better for the more long-term, getting them through a period of noise or thunderstorms or other things. And
Tranquility does have valerian roots, which is what they make Valium out of.
Right, it's very calming.
Very calming.
And so you'll also find that, the valerian, in some of the edible treats, along with things like St. John's wort and other plants that are calming. You can also go to things like herbals, and there's a variety of those, and we have stress and anxiety relief here. And then the newer products are the CBD oils, which
we go through it really fast because a lot of people are liking the results of the CBD oils. Just drops that you would stick on treats or even their food, depending on the time of day when you feed.
But you can also find that in treats that are dosed for the size of your dog. So another option for the CBD are the treats, and the treats will tell you like how many based on the weight of your dog. So
one treat for every 25 pounds, and then there's other dosages for bigger or smaller dogs.
And that could be an easier way, especially if your dog really likes treats. Burt's Bees makes a calming spray. There are there are a variety of calming sprays out there. Those are often lavender based, but they may have things like lavender and valerian or St. John's wort again. The herbal things that have been used for centuries for calming. And if you're looking at lavender, you want to make sure it's lavender augustifolia, because lavender spikenard is exciting, lavender augustifolia is relaxing.
I can remember spikenard being the exciting one because I think that's the exciting name.
Yeah, spike.
Spike.
Right. Okay.
With the sprays, I would assume this is more of aromatherapy that you put on topically, so the aroma is around them and they're inhaling it through their nose.
And if you have a diffuser at home and you diffuse lavender or other things for you, if you have dogs, you can probably diffuse the same products to help calm them, especially lavender. Lavender is safe for everything but an intact male dog. And
Okay.
the reason for that is if there's some question about what it does to their sperm count. But
Oh,
if you're
boy.
not worried about breeding your male dog, if they've been neutered, it's not an issue. And lavender can be very good. With cats, you don't necessarily want to diffuse. Cats are extremely sensitive to a lot of oils.
Okay.
But
That's good to
lavender,
know.
if you have it and you're diffusing it for yourself, you diffuse it for yourself. Many of the other calming oils are good with dogs as well.
Which brings me to a good point. What you were just talking about, the intact dogs. The Adapt from Comfort Zone is a diffuser of pheromones. Now, this is great for that den area, maybe the bathroom, laundry room.
It needs to be in a confined
area if they're in the crate, and put it in a plug near them. It diffuses pheromones and has a great calming effect. But again, the intact dogs, not as high quality.
May not react as well as others to that, but works well with your female dogs and with the neutered dogs and that. So typically works very well and is a diffusible product. But if you try to diffuse in something like a big family room, unless you're doing it right next to their kennel or their bed, it will be too spread out,
yes.
and you won't get the saturation in it.
Another CBD product out there this is called a gel pen, which is really just like a lotion applicator on the paws or underneath the arms. This is a very fast reacting. It'd be faster than doing the drops. We see it used a lot for seizures with animals and humans actually, but it's also a great calming tool. And if it needs to be a fast reactor, this would probably be one of the fastest ones. Not the longest duration that it lasts, but fastest reacting. So the other options we talked about the CBD infused treats already, which are dosed at different levels. But we also have other options that aren't just CBD. Things like you said.
Typically it's lavender, valerian, St. John's wort,
chamomile.
And I don't usually think about chamomile because I'm allergic to it. But
L-theanine.
Yes.
L-theanine is another one.
And tryptophan, which is the stuff in turkey that makes you sleepy on Thanksgiving, is often in them.
You said passion flower.
I did not, but that's another.
Passion flower. All right, so there are many options, and if your dog does have sensitivities to maybe CBD oil, you have alternatives to use before going the route to getting the Santex from the vet or what other things they may prescribe. So we want you to be really aware of your pets during the holiday and be prepared for them to be anxious, because that's going to happen almost no matter what, and we never know when those fireworks are going to hit.
No.
So you gotta, if you have some of these tools with you, you can help keep them calm. I highly recommend exercising early in the morning until the early afternoon, and then resorting to keeping them confined into the house more and using some of the tools to help calm them down.
And don't forget, you can also play with your animal. You can do other things if you're home.
Yes.
If you decide to take your dog to an event, please make sure and use a harness and not a collar that they might slip out of, and to make sure that that's connected to you all the time.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a rough time of year for all of our four-legged friends and the birds as well. A lot of birds are reacting to the noise as well. It's not just the dogs. So be conscious of the pets and be conscious of the heat for them too.
Yeah, the weather's going to play a big part in how they're going to be reacting, and look out for the signs if they are anxious. If they're panting a lot, it's probably time to get them calmed down and cooled down, for that matter.
Yes.
Thank you for watching, and we have Dawn coming in on the 23rd of July, so after 4th of July, for mini sessions. If you want to do any animal communication with her, we have appointments available. Call the store and set up a time.
I'm happy to help you with whatever issue you have.
Thank you so much for coming and doing the video with me.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you
Good to be
soon.
back. Okay.
Thank you. Aaron, can you hit the button? Yay!